Thank you, Jesus.
I'm Lori. I guess y'all know that. Okay, Romans 12, 1 and 2 says, "Therefore I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." Okay, so as Christians, we are already supposed to be apart from the world. And this is saying that we aren't to conform to the world. And so you should be able to see a difference between Christians and worldly people. A lot of people claim that they're a Christian, but they don't have fruit in their life to back up what they claim. And so Matthew 7, 15 and 16 says, "Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them." Okay, so you will know them by what they produce and by their fruit. So the way that we live our lives, it reflects back to what we believe and who we are. And let's say, like, if I'm a Christian, then you should be able to see that by the fruit I'm producing and by living for Christ and the desire I have to seek after Christ. And then if, let's say I'm not a Christian, people should be able to see that by the way that I'm living in sin and how I don't have a desire to seek after Christ. And then Matthew 7, 13 and 14 says, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only few find it." So this is pretty much saying that only few people enter through the narrow gate that leads to life. But many people, the rest of the world, walks the path that leads to destruction. And many people, or most people, they live in sin and they don't have a desire to seek after Christ, while only few people actually do. And those people, sometimes people will say, just because I'm not a Christian doesn't mean I'm walking on the path that leads to destruction. But if you're not for God, then you are against Him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you are a bad person or not. But those who live in sin, they often feel content and happy because they have the rest of the world to walk with them, and they're not alone. They think they're not alone, but I guess they are. But on the other hand, we as Christians, we don't have as many people to encourage us and walk with us, so it's a lot harder to stand firm in our faith. But we will be blessed in the end because by being obedient to His word and what He said. John 15, 1 through 8 says, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit He prunes, so that it will bear even more fruit. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself; it must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine; you are the branches. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not remain in me, he is like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you remain in me, and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be given to you. This is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples." So this is saying you give glory. Jesus is saying you give glory to my Father by producing much fruit. And you therefore show that you are my disciples. So again, you have to, as Christians, we have to show fruit and we have to be fruitful and show that we are Christians. And there should be a difference between us and worldly people.
Amen.
But this also says that we have to abide in Him to produce fruit. So we have to continue to strengthen our relationship with Christ and to continue to live for Him in order to produce fruit and to show that we're His disciples or His people. John 15:18-19 says, "If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. This is why the world hates you." Okay, a lot of people ask, why would God choose me to be hated? Or why would He... That's not exactly what He's saying. When you become a Christian, you're pretty much telling God that I'm giving you my all, and I'm letting you use me for whatever you desire. And there will be things that you can't be a part of. There will be people, there's going to be a lot of people that despise God's word. Sure. And by you living by it, they're going to therefore despise you, and they're not going to like you, and they're not going to listen to you. But by doing that, and by continually living for Christ, then God will bless you in the end. And because you've been obedient to Romans 12:2, it says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world." And by being different and by being a light for Christ, that's what He's called us to do. We will be